Hello everybody, welcome back to another Expeditions Guide. Today we're taking a look at Hidden Under the Lakes. This is an expedition in the Unshakeable Island. For this expedition we're going to be using the Thatcher Force with the Seismic Vibrator add-on as well as the Fuel Tank add-on. And I have with me some anchors and jack screws. In addition to that, I also brought with me the Drone Operator Specialist, the Kanishita, because we do have a couple Explore the Areas to knock out along the route. So let me show you what we're going to be doing. So from the Northwestern Outpost, we're going to be following this path all the way down south through the mud bog and over here. This is going to be where our first seismic point is, right here. Then we're going to go over this way. We got to do a little bit of exploring here and a little bit of exploring here, and then work our way down to our final seismic point. So that is what we're going to be doing. That being said, let's begin, and I'll show you how it's done. So right away from the outpost, we're going to head south. And we're going to make our way through the forest here. We've got a long way to travel to get to these points, but once we do get there, we're going to knock them out relatively quickly. So most of this is just going to be driving to the mission location, which is fine. I want to show you guys how to get there. It is like the far opposite corner of every outpost on this map to get down to that far corner. So we got a long ways to go. So we're going to make our way through these rocks here. We're going to a little bit of a drop down here. And none of the terrain we cross on the way over there is going to be a challenge at all for the Thatcher Force. So pretty easy, and I love using this thing for the seismic missions because you do have that extra fuel tank add-on, so you have tons of fuel for long trips like this one, so you don't have to worry about running out of fuel at any point. Thatcher Force is great for that. So just going to cruise right under these trees here. And right on over here is going to be a small pond, so we're just going to jump into the water and zip across this. Once we get through, we're going to stay on the left side of this clearing here because there are some giant cracks in the ground here that we want to just avoid. So we're going to stay all the way to the left side here so we can go around those. I'm going to stay to the left side, right over here. This is a avalanche rock clearing. I have already cleared this out, so if you don't have this cleared out yet, that's 75 spare parts. And then further up along the route, we are going to be building a bridge, so make sure you have plenty of spare parts for that. And then we're just going to cruise right on through. Once we get over here, we're going to go underneath these fallen trees. Right through here. Up and over these hills and continue on our way. Over here we're going to go to the left side of the big rock and then head right on down into this gap here. This is going to bring us into a little swampy area here, so we're just going to drive straight across it here. There are some little dips and mud spots, but not a problem at all for the Thatcher Force. Now we're just going to continue on our way here. Once we get over here, we're going to head up the ridge on our left side here. Go right around these trees. Head right up the ridge. And then make our way down. all the way down here is going to take us to the dried out lake. Once we get to the dried out lake, we're just going to go across it here. And crossing this, yeah, I like to stay to these high spots, mostly because then I can just get through here as quick as possible. The Tetra Force will have no trouble with any of these spots, though. But just sticking to the high spots is just going to give you a little bit more traction, a little bit more speed. And speed is always good. Not always, but in most situations, speed is good. So we're just going to continue along the dried out lake here. And we're just going to go right on through here. And right over here you can see a gap in the rocks. We're going to go right for that gap in the rocks. And that is going to climb us right on out of this dried out lake. So from here, we're going to stay on the right side here to get around these rocks. And then cut across and continue climbing upwards. And then we're going to head on down. We want to avoid this big tree on our right. Just avoid that. Head right on into the mud. And then up ahead here is where it gets tricky. You got these dense trees here, but we can go right in between them here. Right here. And then you want to head to the right as you get through it, so you can go around that tree. And just kind of squeezing right through the trees there. And from here we're going to head all the way down to the shore of this pond. Go right around here and up and over these rocks. And that is going to take us to our seismic point. Alright, with that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and back on out. You might get stuck with the bar on the back of the truck here, so kind of just got to get it at a right angle so you can kind of push it forward. It's trying to get out of there. There we go. We'll grab this tree. That's just going to pull us right on out of here. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to go around the pond here. And from here, we want to go to the left side of this tree, right on over to that bridge spot. And we're going to go ahead and build the bridge. And from here, we can go up and over the bridge that we just built. And right through the trees. And up and over this hill. And up and over this hill. And we're going to head down the right side here. Through the trees. And then we're going to go right between these rocks. And let me just check the map here. We are actually closing in on our waypoint. So while we're here, we're going to use the binoculars and just point it over in this direction. And over here, some more. That is going to reveal a good chunk of the area that we need to get. There's still a few little spots down here. So we're going to go forward a little bit more. And then bust out the drone and finish up the exploration area. Alright, so we're going to go right about here. And from here, we're going to grab the drone. We're going to go right on over to this ridge. We should complete here any moment now. Yep, there we go. That's the first one done. The second one is going to be up ahead here. So we will get that when we get there. But for now, we're going to continue on our way with the Thatcher Force here. So from here, we're going to just navigate through all these rocks. And we're just going to follow this path up the side of the hill here. And right here we got some more rocks. We're just going to go right around those. And then head on over to the left. This part is kind of sketchy. You want to just go nice and slow here. Stay to the right of these rocks. And that'll just keep your truck planted. So right here, we are actually in the middle of our explore the area here. So we're going to go ahead and grab the drone and fly right over here. Going to reveal a big chunk of that. There's even an airdrop down here. Alright, that is that. And then we've got a little spot to our right. Alright, there we go. The explore the area tasks are done. Now it is time to continue onwards towards our seismic point. So from here, we're just going to make our way down. And go around this cliff here. And we're going to head on down through the rocks. We're going to head all the way down. There's going to be a ridge here that we can use to climb up. I'm actually going to put this thing in low plus here, It's just going to give us the most torque as we climb up this steep hill. Just going to navigate over this. I'm going to climb up towards this tree. Up and over. We have these rock dips to climb over. And once we get over these, we're going to head on over to the right. We want to go right in between the trees here. Back up a little bit so we can get in between the trees. And then we're going to head down to the left here. Let's back up a little bit so we can get a good angle. And from here, we're going to just climb right on up. And we want to kind of keep our truck at as much of a angle to the hill as we climb up and over this, because it is kind of tricky there. So as long as you kind of crab walk it a little bit, you'll be okay. But from here, we're going to head on over to this little lake here. And we're going to go right onto that little island in the middle. So right on up here. And go ahead and seismic survey. And there you go. That is Hidden Under the Lakes completed, rewarding you a nice $40,000. So, hope you guys enjoyed this guide. Let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.